Okay, in this video we're going to solve trig equations by factoring, and we're going to do this in degrees, but we could just as well do it in radians. The steps are basically the same until the end. And of course, factoring is a mixed bag. You got to figure out what type of factoring you got to do here. If you just take a peek at this problem, I see a tangent in the first term and a tangent in the second term rather. I don't care where you're at in high school math. The first kind of factoring you look for is greatest common factor, and that's what the tangent is. Since you see it in both terms, you can factor that out front. And then we get a parentheses and we'll get a binomial, right? And if you take tangent out of the first term, you're going to be left with cosine of x. If you take tangent out of the second term, you're going to be left with minus 5. Just factor that. Right now you have two terms that multiply to 0. Set them each to 0. That's the zero product property. That's how quadratics are solved. So either tangent x equals 0 or cosine x minus 5 equals 0. If we solve the second branch of the equation for cosine, we add 5. We got cosine equals 5. I'm actually going to start over there with the cosine. Guess what? Can cosine ever equal 5? And the answer over here is no way. Because if you think of cosine, just a quick reminder, the range of cosine is -1 to 1. And just as a reminder to kind of tie up some loose ends, if I graphed cosine, remember he starts up high at 1 and then he kind of meanders between +1 and -1. And I guess we should put in a couple x values there, right? That's basically the graph of cosine x. He never gets up to 5. He never gets beyond -1 and 1. So we don't even have to worry about that side of the equation. So we look over here. Where does tangent equal 0? And you know, that should be memorized, but if you think about tangent, tangent is, if this helps you, tangent is y over x. And so on the unit circle, it's wherever y equals 0, right? X can't be 0. You can't divide by 0. But on this unit circle, and we'll draw a quick unit circle, there it is. It's wherever the y coordinate equals 0. So that would be right here at 0 degrees, and that would be right here at 180 degrees. So guess what? There's your solution. X is either 0 degrees or 180 degrees. And we don't go beyond that. We're solving on the unit circle, right? There's actually an infinite number of solutions, but if you look in the kind of the way the problem was described, we said just from 0 to 360. So 0 and 180 are the two solutions.